Each player's turn is comprised of 3 phases: upkeep, action, and respite, in that order. The upkeep phase consists of a fortune roll, that's 1d20, plus your fortune. Ooh, that is a good one. So I've got a Ring of Minor Luck equipped, which means that I get +2 to my fortunes. That's 2 plus 19, which equals 21. Now I consult one of these tables on the side of the board to see what loot I got. A 21 is going to land us in this tier, granting us 5 essence and 2 gear cards. Not too bad for turn 1. I got 2 cryptic twigs, neither of which I can equip because it requires 3 mine to equip. So I'll just stash these in my hand for now. Not bad though, and now I can begin my action phase. So there's a lot of different types of actions that you can take in essence, but a lot of them have prerequisites, so I'll just start by moving. If you don't know where to go to start the game, head towards a city. Cities reward you with essence the first time you explore them, which can be very helpful in the early game. I'll start by making my way towards Amuland. First, I'll spend 1 action to move on to this wild hex. Every wild hex has a number on the bottom. If your character's level is greater than or equal to that number, you can choose whether or not you'd like to trigger an encounter on that wild hex. Otherwise, you have to roll. Encounters have an array of outcomes that can be both positive and negative. So I'm, on the fence about what I want to trigger here. I rolled a 2, which is less than 3, so I will trigger an encounter. Let's see what we get. Aha, it is a Treeling. That is a monster, so we are now in combat. All right, so the way combat works is you calculate who's going first by the damage type. Range goes first, followed by magic, followed by melee. Characters are melee by default unless they have a ranged or magic weapon equipped. This Treeling is melee, so we're tied. The tiebreaker is will. I have 2 will, the Treeling has 5 will, so it's gonna roll to hit me first. That's a d20. That is a 1. That is definitely not gonna hit me. But the way that you calculate if something hits you is your body plus 10. That is what the Treeling needs to roll in order to hit me. I only need to roll a 5 because I'm rolling against the Treeling's body and it only has 5. So I feel like I got a pretty good shot. I rolled an 18. I hit. When I hit, I deal damage equal to my damage, which is 1. So I will reduce this Treeling's hit points from 3 to 2, and I'll keep track of that with a d10. Now it's the Treeling's turn to go again. It's gonna roll against me. Rolled another 1? That's crazy. Okay, you kind of suck, Treeling. All right, whatever, it's my turn. Get ready to get wrecked. 6. It's not very good, but it's still good enough to hit that Treeling. Now it's down to 1 HP. I feel pretty good about this. It's gonna roll against me again. Misses again, because again, 6 does not equal 10 plus my body, which is 13. So it misses. I will roll once again, and I will kill the Treeling. That is a pretty good first turn. What I'm gonna get from that Treeling is the 1 gear card as listed in the top right corner. I'll get a chainmail, put that on the side because I already have armor equipped. And you also get a fortune roll anytime you win in combat. So just like during my upkeep phase, I'll roll 1d20 and I'll add my fortune, getting 16, which will get me another 5 essence and another 2 gear cards. Doing pretty well. I can't equip the Vital Staff, and I don't have a slot for the Ring of Rebuke, so I'll put them both in my hand. But this is kind of nice because now we have 3 purple gear cards, which means that if we get to a city, we can sell a set to the Goth shop. I'll have to keep that in mind for later. But let's go on with our action phase. So I only spent 1 action to fight that Treeling. Now I will spend my other 2 actions to move to this wild hex. Now you may say, why does that cost 2 actions? Because this wild hex is mountainous. Similar to these wild hexes that are forested, a mountainous wild hex costs 2 actions to move onto it, unless I have 5 body. This is noted on my character board, and the same thing applies to forests and mind. So fortunately, it cost me 2 actions to move on to that wild hex, but that's okay, because now that I've used all my actions, I can enter my respite phase, where I regain all my lost HP, I didn't lose any HP because that Treeling was actually garbage at combat. The Respite phase also grants you the opportunity to level up, which I would recommend doing anytime you have the means. Consult this table to see what it takes to level up. I want to become level 2. That's going to cost me 4 essence and will grant me 1 AP, or attribute point, that I can use to allocate towards my mind, body, and will however I see fit. So I'll go ahead and spend that 4 essence, get 1 back. I will tick up to level 2. I will increase my hit points to 3 because again, level plus armor equals hit points. And then I will allocate that AP to mind. Yes, very good. That will come in handy next turn. All right, there's a number of things that you can do at any time during your turn, such as use stunts or access the Goth shop. I will go ahead and use this stunt that I have access to. I pay 1 essence, and I gain 1 AP to allocate as I choose. I'll pay that 1, and I will put another tick into mind. Hello, Nina. So by getting 3 mind, I have crossed this threshold, which is going to grant me an additional +1 charm. So now I have 3 charm. Very dashing, if I may say so myself. That is the end of my respite phase, and therefore the end of my turn. Yordai is going to move 1 pace on the path. And again, if Yordai gets to Lady Kazmatis, I lose, and Yordai wins. But now it's my turn again. So I'll start with the fortune roll.